about every college and university in the nation, where you saw that initial spike when everybody got back together after, being home since March, getting back together with friends. And so we expected to have cases. It was higher than we had expected. But again, working with the health department and getting everything in place, having an aggressive testing program in place and things like that, we were able then to control it. And we've been successful in a number of ways to get in our daily case numbers down to a much, much better level. Of course, we'd like to get them down to 0.
I mean, you say that happened at several schools, but until just a few days ago, I mean, Grand Valley had the most cases of any school in the state. You still have the most in our area. I mean, you realize what happened at GVSU is a little different than what we've seen at most of the colleges in this state.
I would argue that what happened, I completely agree that our numbers are much higher than other colleges have reported, but we're reporting every case. We have an aggressive random testing program in place. And, our numbers agree with the health department. Other universities' numbers that they're reporting do not agree with what the health department thinks the university has for cases. We've been very open and transparent with how many cases that we've had. We'll count a student that's online taking classes at home in a county far, far away from Kent or Ottawa County. We still report that as a case on our dashboard. So so our numbers are higher, but it's because I think we've been more transparent with the number of cases and our close work with the health department.
Have you had any staff members hospitalized? I know you said there's one student hospitalized, but any of the staff members who have been sickened?
We've had a very limited number of staff members that have tested positive. I do know of one, a contractor that worked on campus that was hospitalized, but again, that was several weeks ago that this individual was hospitalized, and they were hospitalized for 3 days, I believe.
And how concerned, my last question, how concerned are you about staff and faculty members? We just reported this week about a teacher at a school in Montcalm County who got sick and passed away. So obviously, your staff members are more likely to be in that age group that are more at risk to have serious complications with the coronavirus. How big of a concern is that for you at GVSU right now?
Obviously, we're concerned about everybody. We don't want anybody to get the virus, and we're doing everything we can while being consistent to our mission here. As far as faculty and staff, we've done quite a bit with regards to the physical layout of our classrooms, created social distancing within our classrooms, the cleaning protocols we have in place. A classroom that normally might have 48 desks in it only has 17, so everybody's 6 feet apart. These are all things that we've worked with the health department with. So I think we've done as much as we can to prevent the spread of the virus on our campus. And of course we're concerned, but like I said, we're doing everything. We're testing our faculty and staff randomly. We have symptomatic testing available. Again, the idea is we want to make sure everybody is protected and taken care of. And I think we've been, while still being true to our mission, which is providing opportunity and education for our students that can enhance the rest of their lives.
You said that students were pretty compliant with the original stay home order. Did the university have to issue any sanctions to students for issues of non-compliance?
Sure. Since the order went into effect, we've had 67 incident reports that were submitted to our Office of Student Conduct. 22 of those alleged, anything from COVID, non-compliance to alcohol or academic misconduct. We had 45, and the other 45 were violations of our guest policy for housing and residence life. And of that, 3 emergency suspensions were issued. All have since been lifted. And 2 of the 3 emergency suspensions were issued for behavior that actually occurred prior to the stay-in-place order going home. So, when you think about, we've got about 4,800, 5,000 students in our living centers on campus. I think that's a pretty small number. And again, I think it just shows the overwhelming compliance across our students.
Obviously, with the metrics, my question for you would be, how are you measuring those students for non-compliance on campus in terms of the people on the ground, like that are in the buildings, and what administrators are hearing and what you're hearing from students and leaders on campus that are in those dorms?
Sure. You know, we have a student ambassador program in place. With a big part of, you know, we don't want to go right to enforcement. You know, a big part of it is education and understanding. So we have a student ambassador program where these are peers that are going around, you know, encouraging compliance, helping people understand why, you know, why wearing a mask is important even when you're outside. Things like that. So we've been doing that. We really want to educate and have people understand first before we go straight to the enforcement mechanism. As far as, you know, the numbers I gave you with regards to, you know, the different incidents, oftentimes those are reported by peers that, you know, see something and want to make sure something is done about it. And we follow up on every one of those.
Thank you all for your time. We appreciate you joining us and appreciate your questions. Thank you, Vice President Sanyel. This concludes our news conference. Thank you.